C'est pas un peu...
Right now on the Wil Wheaton Project, Earth faces certain, maybe, death. But a dude with one L in his name might just save us all from. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s J. August Richards stops by.
No spoilers, Will.
Comedian Mike Lawrence drops some truth.
You have to tune in.
And a trip to Superman's hometown you won't want to miss.
Get away!
Now, the one man who can make sense of all this, Wil Wheaton.
To the Wil Wheaton Project. Sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and pottery. We are talking about 3 of these things this week. Sorry, fantasy. Kicking things off with huge news out of the Star Wars world. Director Rian Johnson has been hired to direct Star Wars Episodes 8 and 9. This is fantastic news, and I could not be more excited. Now, you may know Rian as the director of the Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Weird Eyebrows, time travel thriller Looper. But in my opinion, what really landed him the job were the spectacular episodes of Breaking Bad that he delivered. Take a look, and I think you'll see why he was the clear choice. The one who knocks, I am. While producer J.J. Abrams is consumed with rebooting the Star Wars franchise, a new Star Trek movie was announced this week. And even though J.J. is knee-deep in Tatooine, he promises that Trekkies have nothing to worry about with Star Trek 3 Into Afterthought. Tensions were high on True Blood's season premiere as the anti-vampire movement continued to terrorize the vampires of Bon Tom. Here, Jason and his vampire lover Violet are confronted by a group of vigilantes who hate the undead as much as they love asking awkward and ill-timed questions.
You a fangbanger now, Stackhouse?
Jason is mine.
Violet?
So why don't you take your puny little guns back home and go depressed homely housewives with your tiny little dicks?
What if I don't have a dick? Can I stay?
Look, the Evite was very clear. Dicks go, no dicks stay. Jesus, doesn't anybody open those things anymore? Orphan Black had its season finale. And things have gotten pretty tense between the clones Rachel and Sarah. This scene really drove the point home.
Enjoy your oophorectomy. Rachel, I'll tell you.
Good. Where is it? Right here.
Hey, Rachel, look sharp! Rachel, I think you have a little something in your eye. Rachel thought she was the #1 clone. Turns out she's #2. Jokes! Those puns are for you, Ann Wheaton. From clones to thrones, it's only been 1 week since the finale, but millions of us already miss Game of Thrones. It's so bad, some Americans are considering picking up a book. Slow down, America. There's no need to go that far. We have a product that may be right for you.
Does your life feel like a barren wasteland? Are you overwhelmed by emptiness and longing? Are you experiencing headaches that feel like this? You may be suffering from Game of Thrones withdrawal. But now there's Gamadone, the convenient way to control your withdrawal symptoms. Symptoms like compulsive rewatching, disappointment that loved ones are not suddenly dying, leaving your house, and shooting your father with a crossbow on the toilet. Gamadone works by blocking the part of your brain that appreciates quality television, leaving you free to enjoy the Real Housewives of Orange County like a regular stupid person. Ask your doctor about Gamadone. It'll make you feel like a king. No, not that one, the other one. The other one. Gamadome. It'll make you feel like a king. Coming up, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. drops by and a visit to the birthplace of Superman when the Wil Wheaton Project continues.
Thanks. Welcome back, everybody. I missed you during the break. In gaming news, the debate about women's representation in video games recently came to a head when Ubisoft announced that you won't have the option to play a female character in Assassin's Creed Unity, which is odd to me considering how well represented women have been in Ubisoft games until this point.
You know what would be better than us making sweet, sweet lady love? Having a man watch us do it, because that's what us lesbians like.
Hey, hoes!
Hey! Ooh, your sword sure is big.
Ha! Tell me something I don't know, bitch!
Babe, how many times do I have to tell you to clean up after yourself when you're using the time travel machine?
I had to work the late shift, so stop breaking my balls.
You're right. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm on my period, which is one of my many, many flaws.
Terry, we need to talk. I need to know where this relationship is going.
Memo to Ubisoft. Women play video games. Get used to it. Hey, do you remember the campy Leprechaun franchise from the 90s? Right? All right, it's back, and they ditched the guy in the rubber suit for a more dark and serious tone. It is called Leprechaun Origins, and it's part of Hollywood's current obsession with unnecessary dark prequels. Man of Steel. Sorry. Other studios have jumped on the bandwagon with dark prequels of their own. There's Dawn of the Ewoks, when there's no room left in hell, teddy bears will walk the earth. Shrek Beginnings. His sex addiction was no fairy tale. And finally, Toy Story Year One. The devil made them talk. Now you're going to scream. It turns out they weren't holding hands at the end of Toy Story 3 because they were afraid. They were holding hands because they were finally about to go home. You know, it's hard being a fan of nerdy stuff because it is constantly giving you things to worry about. Super viruses, robot apocalypses, worst of all, spoilers. Here today to talk about his relationship with spoilers is super nerd and friend of the show, Mike Lawrence.
I love me some Game of Thrones. It has my two favorite things in the world, baby dragons and titties. Winter is coming, and so do I. But the one downside is that people love to spoil it. You can't go on Facebook without someone saying, OMG, WTF, GOT was face-crushingly good this week. Knowledge is power, and with great power comes one more reason for people to be mean on the internet. There weren't enough of them. I feel like if you spoil a show for someone, you should be visited by an old Japanese woman who tells you the exact day you die. Have you seen what happens to Curl on The Walking Dead this week? January 25th, 2019. 7 days. One of the things that annoys me is that spoilers ever only spoil the parts of the show you care about. No one's ever like, you've got to see Game of Thrones this week. The girl with the messed up face teaches the smuggler how to read. You have to tune in. You have to tune in. Hodor says his name again. And then is revealed as the first ever Pokemon. The reality is life is predictable. Most entertainment is predictable. But we pretend to be constantly surprised, and that's how we get through it all. We know that Shaggy, Scooby, and the gang are going to figure out that Old Man Carruthers is really the ghost in an overly complicated scheme that involves real estate. But both the characters and us act surprised. We knew that Cosmos was going to end with us realizing how huge the universe is and how small we are in comparison. But we let it unfold. What's the point of giving everything away anyway? Are you going to go to a Chipotle and just scream, poop? You're all going to poop! Are you going to go up to someone reading a Bible and say, he hasn't come back yet? You keep your mouth shut, because snitches get stitches and act like little bitches.
Thank you, Mike Lawrence. Mike's current album is called Sadamantium, and he'll be at Florida SuperCon July 3rd through the 6th. Head over to blaster.com for a web-only exclusive with Mike, where you can hear his thoughts on other nerd subjects. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Deathlock stops by, and we go into deep cable when the Wil Wheaton Project continues.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. You guys, it's been a big week for announcements. Paramount announced their upcoming movie slate, including G.I. Joe 3, Paranormal Activity 5, Hansel and Gretel 2, and Transformers 5. Hey, Paramount, how about making a movie without a number after it? Meanwhile, DC announced their upcoming slate of movies for the next 4 years, including Wonder Woman, finally, the Justice League movie, and Man of Steel 2. You may wonder what Marvel is up to. Well, this is kind of cool. Marvel has chosen our show to announce their next big venture. And here to tell us all about it is Deathlock from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., J. August Richards. Jay!
Hey. What's up, man?
Yeah, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to the show. Right? It's kind of exciting.
Nice.
Right? All right, let's talk a little bit about Deathlock. So last season, he had an amazing moral journey. Yes. And I just wonder if the studio has told you anything about your character arc next season that you'd like to share with us.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I was actually playing Deathlock before I knew I was Deathlock. So that means I know nothing. I know nothing. Yes.
Just like every other actor on series television, you find out, like, at the table read?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much. Or while I'm watching in this case.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, so I'm really excited. I know the audience is excited. There's people in America who are excited. What is the big Marvel announcement?
Well, okay, so you know how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a spinoff, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm really excited to announce to you today that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting another spinoff.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're going to have a spinoff of a spinoff?
Well, you could say that, you know, and I actually brought you a clip of the show, so I want you guys to check this out.
Lock the door behind me.
Are they shooting each other again?
Man, I just cleaned out there.
They better not put us on lockdown.
S.H.I.E.L.D. lockdown. Hold positions until S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are finished shooting each other. Thank you.
Oh no. What?
We're out of Splenda. This is the worst internship ever.
Interns of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will continue.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good.
Do they find the Splenda?
No spoilers, Will. You know that would ruin, like, the whole first 6 episodes.
I just want to know. Thank you very much for breaking that totally real story right here on our show. Can you stick around?
Yeah, I'd love to, but I've heard you're going somewhere that I just cannot follow you.
That's right. We're going to Deep Cable!
Isn't this already Deep Cable?
Janice Richards, everybody! National Geographic's Deep Cable cousin Nat Geo Wild is not 24-hour coverage of spring break in the savannah. Unfortunately, it is home to Man v. Monster.
If there is anything down there, it's going to show up on this device because it's very, very sensitive.
Actually, there's something black floating past it right now. That's a log. But for a split second, got my heart going.
It's not actually a monster. Maybe we should edit out the log. No, we should keep the log in. Talk more about the log. If we talk too much about the log, we're not going to have time for the monster. Oh.
We'll be right back.
Gentlemen, I know Agent Sitwell was in charge of filling your ranks, so at least a few of you know what to do in this situation. Anytime, boys.
Condition critical. Shield has been taken. Repeat. Shield has been taken. Ah, damn it. Let the...
I've always wanted to touch Agent Coulson's head. It looks so shiny. I just wonder what it feels like.
Hello? Help us! Well, can't you stage a We're interns. What? Hello?
So no good news.
We're trapped. They've sealed off the building. They're flooding it with poison gas.
Guys, we are going to die here.
Next time on Interns of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep, they're dead.
Marvel's Interns of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coming up, you won't want to miss our supercut. And we visit the real Smallville when the Wil Wheaton Project continues.
Welcome back. As we all know, Clark Kent's hometown is the fictitious Smallville, Kansas. Well, the real town of Hutchinson, Kansas, loves Superman so much, it officially changed its name to Smallville for 2 days. This weekend, they threw a big Superman party, and we caught up with Hutchinson's local historian, Christopher Wheatrick, to tell us more about Hutchinson and why they deserve the honor of being called Smallville.
Meet Christopher Wheatrick of Hutchinson, Kansas. Christopher loves Superman so much, he convinced the city to temporarily change its name to Smallville.
I love Superman the most because I think he's just the most inspiring. He grew up in small-town Kansas. He's a proud American, and he protects the entire world.
A town in Kansas is about to stake its claim as Superman's hometown.
The first ever Smallville Festival weekend is underway in Hutchinson.
Smallville, Kansas has been found. Sort of.
This is Smallville Day right here, the first one ever.
It's not easy to convince a town to change its name, but Christopher had just the right combination of passion and free time.
Smallville has the 10 letters and 3 meteors on their welcome sign. On our welcome sign, it says Hutchinson, which is obviously 10 letters. And instead of meteors, we have 3 sunflowers on our welcome sign.
Although this may seem like a random coincidence, Chris has uncovered something bigger.
Right over here, you'll see a very big sinkhole in the ground, what I've just come to call the crash site. It's sitting right over our salt mines. This is where I believe Kal-El landed on Earth.
And that is what is referred to as indisputable proof. Christopher's out-of-this-world efforts were celebrated this weekend when the town hosted its very first Smallville Comic-Con.
It was a lot more work than I anticipated, but it definitely paid off in the end with all of these wonderful fans that came out today. I'm Batman!
All of Superman's closest friends were there, including Smallville's Martian Manhunter, Phil Morris.
I love the town, but I love the people more. Everybody who comes to the table, they're just excited to see you. They're happy you're here. They can't believe you're here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Now Smallville today. Hello!
Hello indeed, Martian Manhunter. The good times didn't stay confined to the con itself. Now, Superman didn't drink, but this town sure does, as was evident in their Superman pub crawl. Even Thor stopped by, and man, was he hammered. Before Smallville steps back into a phone booth and re-emerges as mild-mannered Hutchinson, Kansas, Christopher takes a moment to reflect on the day and imagine what it would be like to be Superman.
If I could have any of Superman's powers, it'd have to be flight. That way I could just fly right on out of here.
Congratulations, Hutchinson, Kansas, on a job well done. And we only have one shout out this week, everybody. It is a shout out to Mario Marathon, a group of gamers in Indiana who play every Super Mario video game back to back for charity. It is really awesome. So find them online at mariomarathon.com and tell them I sent you. Thank you very much to J. August Richards and to Mike Lawrence for coming by today. And finally, we have seen a lot of Superman. And Superman's cool, but my favorite is Batman. Do you want to know how much I love Batman? This much. And I am not alone. This leads us to this week's Supercut. Until next time, play more games.
I'm Batman. 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 Hit me. I'm Batman. Batman. Batman.
Someone here called Batman?
Yes, I'm Batman.
Telegram.